Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om, may Brahman protect us both, the teacher and the student equally. May he enable us to share the benefit of the learning equally. May we be equally benefited, strong to grasp the meaning of the learning. Okay, let us start again. It is coming to your eyes, but I don't want my eyes. Okay? This is okay? This is okay? Okay, okay, it is okay. Without this is. Now take out. That's okay. Take out, take out. Yeah. This is the point. We cannot find a nice matching light here for every time we are studying for years, 80 years here. But we cannot have a nice light, nice thing. It is all God's will, it works. Not anywhere there is a standard formula. A speaker, one glass of water, one something. Very basic things. But we are all Brahman. So not today, I don't need anything. What I'm saying, for any speaker, the standard formula should be like that. No, anyone speaks, there will be some light, decent light. It does not bother us, bothers other.
Well, Swami, I think what it was is that one used to work that I brought you when you used to sit on the ground. So it was
Anyhow, that's okay.
Yeah, you are going up.
Yeah.
come up higher.
Okay, let us join. Then say, Om. May Brahman protect us both. May Brahman protect us both. The teacher and the student equally. I say once, you say once. Otherwise, many people have no books. May we be equally strong. May we be equally strong to grasp the meaning of the learning. To grasp the meaning of the learning. May the learning be equally fruitful to us. Be equally fruitful to us. May we never be jealous of each other. May we never be jealous of each other. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, peace. Anyhow, so we are on the Kathopanishad, and the beautiful example has been given about the Atman and its connection with this body and mind and our intellect. It is compared with a example of a chariot, and that we have read that the chariot who is sitting inside is the Atman. He is the real enjoyer, but he does not enjoy anything because everything belongs to him. Or you can say he permeates everything. But still, if you say in this body, who is enjoying? So that he is the enjoyer Atman. And Atman, that is Atmanam Rachinam. He is the rider. He rides in this car. He rides in each of the cars. And Shariram, this body was his chariot, where he is the outer shape of the car. And Buddhi is the driver. He is the Sarathi. And Mana, mind, is like the horses being held into the reins in the hand. Buddhi is the hand who is holding the chariot here. And the senses are the 10 horses which are dragging this body engine into the path of life, and it's enjoying sweet and sour fruits. No? So this is the comparison, but everyone thinks that we cannot discriminate that he is the real Atman inside, for whom everything is functioning. This machine, the car is moving because there is the proprietor of the car who actually, or the owner of the car wants. In this country it is self-driving, but in that is, or you can say cab driving, you can compare with the cab driving or Uber driving. No? So, Baba, you got a big glass. See our hot water. Good. So, the car moves because of the Atman. This body is moving, dead body and this body. Only difference is that he is riding or he is out of the car. Of course, that example cannot be given. If he goes out of the car, where he will go is not the Atman. But for example's sake, we have to understand partly. All examples are partial to give some idea that how actually the Atman and the body get mixed up. So now, when this we forget that, and with the uncontrolled mind, as in our case, the senses go in their own way, and our mind follows that direction, and our buddhi also gives sanction to that, and we do whatever our senses want, our mind wants, our the driver wants. But no one listens to the boss who is inside. Boss has become dysfunctional. But this, because of his presence, everything is functioning. Though, but he is the most poor guy. Nobody listens to him. So that's why this trouble comes in life. We are in suffering and pain. Now, it has been said, if the intellect is incapable of discriminating between the right and wrong, and is also connected with uncontrolled mind, it is like a charioteer who has to deal with uncontrollable and vicious horses. So that is the problem with us, because horses are moving in that direction, senses. Our mind says yes, 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 go. And our intellect also, buddhi says, ha, 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 that is good. And I also follow that. And after going, we fall into the trap of miseries and suffering. Now, but the next verse we have read, that is on page 96, sixth verse, which said, but that person who is Vijnanavan Bhavati, that person who has a discriminating intellect, who can analyze what is perfect, what is imperfect, what is right, what is wrong, what can lead me to liberation, what can lead me to bondage, that is the function of the buddhi. But who become when a person with that discriminating intellect, and that intellect always joined to a mind that is yuktena manasasa, and is connected with the mind. The driver is holding the reins, and the reins are strong. Sometimes reins are loose. So you try to pull, and it has become elastic, and it goes. So the horses can go, have the liberty to take you in another direction. So, but if it is strong, that means mind is strong. And tasya indriyani, and these horses then cannot go in their own whims. All the five senses, anything nice for food, tongue says, I will eat, I will eat. The eyes will say, I will see, I will see. Ear will say, ha, 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 let me go, let me hear, let me listen. Like that. So all the five senses are always making us mad. And that's why there is no peace for the person who is riding in the car. Each one is pulling the car in different direction. So now, that's why, but if it is the buddhi is very strong in the right hand, and the mind is very, there is also very strong mind, and they are connected with the senses, strong senses. That's why for spiritual life is not for the dull people. It's not for the weak mind. Dull intellect, this is not spiritual life, is not for them. Weak mind is not for spiritual life. Weak mind, people many times think the emotionally depressed people are good for spiritual life. No, it is just the opposite. It does harm to them. It is spiritual people should be strong in mind, strong in their intellect, understanding, and their senses will be under control. Control means it listens to mind. Mind says don't go there, it will not go. That's why the training of the mind is necessary. And then the charioteer have a good horses to deal with. Then what happens? But he whose intellect is not able to discriminate. Again, opposite. Positively, it is good if you can control. But it is if the horses are not controlled by the mind, and mind is not controlled by the buddhi, then what happens? This person who is in the car, he gets jerks. It moves in its own whims, but not to fulfill the wish of the rider who is inside. So it says that he whose intellect, on page 897, is not able to discriminate between right and wrong, and whose uncontrolled mind lets his senses run after the impure things, such a person can never attain self-knowledge. Knowledge is not for that person. That means both ways. Positively says what is the criterion, negatively says what is detrimental. And it says that on the contrary, he gets caught into the cycle of birth and death. Not only it is not possible for him God realization, but he is caught into the trap of births and deaths. Why? Because the senses have taken control. In West Bengal it happened. It's called communism. What has happened? The boss, who is the boss of the office, his subordinates don't listen to them. And the departmental people who are there, they don't listen to the working under them, they don't listen. So it is chain reaction. There is one polytechnic engineering, and I was looking after that. So when I used to go and check on them, so 10 o'clock I go, the students are already coming. Principal is not come. So principal will come, 10 o'clock it starts, principal comes maybe around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, he's relaxing, so he comes. Then I ask for the office accountant or as the person to talk with accounts to check. But he has not come. He has not come, his assistants didn't come. And if you catch the person who has actually to open the door, lock the door, clean the floor, if you ask for them, they say, Babu, sir, you are talking to us. What about my boss? What about you? So you tell them first. So he says, you tell them first. He says, you tell them first. You tell them, and you go to the principal who is the institution head, Buddhi. So this is the condition of the institution. As a result, you can understand what type of education is given to the students, what type of the learning is going on there. So it is a chaos. So similarly, it is the same. If they are not coordinated and they don't function together, then it is not, will not reap the result of God realization. Rather, it will bring more trouble and more chaos. Page 98, verse number 8. The person who has a discriminating intellect and also has a controlled mind is always pure in thought and action. Such a person is sure to attain his goal, the self-knowledge. Having once attained the goal, he will not be born again. So other way, he will be born again. This is the way he will never be born. So he read after that. That again, that is emphasized again. Vigyano, page 99, 9. You have the books, then you can join me. Vigyano sarathirijastu, Vigyano sarathirijastu, Manaha pragrahavan naraha, Manaha pragrahavan naraha. Swadhana paramapnayoti. Swadhana paramapnoti. Tad Vishnu paramam padam. Tad Vishnu paramam padam. So what is this? He whose intellect, like a good charioteer, takes him along the right path, whose mind is under the control of the intellect, and who, by virtue of such a combination, can direct his senses, as he thinks best. He can go to the other side of the world where he attains the highest goal, union with the cosmic self. So it is the idea is the same. Actually, we have to understand what happens. Our sense perception. I see you, I can see only you. My eyes may be open, but I won't see unless the mind is connected with it. I am looking at you. If my mind is thinking something else, it will be totally blind. I am talking to you. If you are thinking something else, your mind is engaged somewhere, you will not hear what is being spoken. So this is the connection. Mind and the senses has deep connection. And mind is guided by intellect. Mind cannot decide. Indecisive faculty is called the mind. Shall I go or not go? Shall I eat or not eat? Mind cannot decide. Mind only says, shall I do? Shall I not do? But response comes from intellect. It decides. So decisive faculty. So if the decisive faculty, whatever is taken decision, if it is not guided by the boss who is sitting behind the intellect, is what you call here ego, our small ego we call. But that small ego is lighted by the big ego. That means that I confer some instruction to buddhi. Buddhi orders the mind to do that. The workers are under the mind. Then there is these people who are to actual active people, the senses, eyes to see, feet to walk, hand to touch, hand to hold. All these are going on. If they mind what it directs, if they listen to that, then a perfect journey is possible.
And Swami, we don't distinguish between, I don't think, the mind and the intellect. I'm not quite clear on what you're saying. The intellect just decides. It doesn't collect all the. You distinguish those two.
Yeah, we do that. Suppose you are indecisive. So when you are driving a car, you are indecisive. You will take this exit or that exit. What you do?
Well, there's your motor. But we always just think it's the same body there, or not body, but that brain, whatever we're saying.
Brain is nothing. Don't think of the brain. Up to brain is a physical thing. We don't consider
but
here.
That you distinguish deciding
Faculty.
The awareness of the action.
Listen, this far what goes on, we talk about the body, the nervous system, the brain cells, they say what you call the information bringing and going. These are all physical things. Here is nothing to do with mind. Mind actually is functioning behind brain, this physical brain. Though we feel here, there, that's a different thing. But we make a mistake here. That is as if the mind and intellect has got something to do with the cell and this.
So the mind and the intellect. But I'm not clear why you separate, or what's the fundamental distinction between the mind.
That I am saying. Mind is indecisive. Whenever
mind never is able to make a decision.
No.
Ever.
The same mind functions in 4 ways according in Vedanta. 4 ways are. One is the indecisiveness. Another is decisive faculty, that's called buddhi. Another is remembering faculty. Another is the ego. So these 4 functions are done by one item, and when it takes different forms, we give it 4 names. Mano buddhi chitta ahankara. You sing that song. I'm not the mind, not this. Mano, buddhi, chitta, ahankara. These are the four. These are called the subtle body, parts of the subtle body. It's working now with the physical body, but it can work without this body also. When you dream, it works there. You don't need this physical body. Physical body does not move or do anything, but in your mind, you have another world, and there you can work. So the mind is a subtler part, and that mind, normally our mind cannot decide. It is indecisiveness is the nature of mind. Fickleness is the nature of the mind. And when it decides something, that is called the buddhi. Oh, I understand now. Oh, I was confused. I don't understand this. We normally express this way.
So the mind collects but doesn't.
Collects through the senses some information. It goes to the mind, but mind cannot decide. So gives it into the buddhi, and buddhi has a big album, and it brings out all the old image and matches with that. There's this is this. No, memory comes there, and with that, I says ego. Oh, I understand. I recognize this is this. So this is the four process of our cognition, according to Vedanta. So this is the point that's why it is all these spiritual practices is boils down to our control of the mind. You go to bhakti school, that is also mind is to be soaked in the love of God. In the Jnana path, mind should be analyzing what is permanent, impermanent. So in meditation part, mind is jumping. How to pacify the mind, how to cool the mind. So everywhere the whole spiritual life is centered around the mastery of the mind.
So the belief is in bhakti too.
Yeah.
It decides, okay, this is where we're going to focus.
That's why mind, that is the same mind. With people, bhakti school of people will say, oh, I want to cry for God, I want to pray to God, I cannot do it. So that's the mind. Yes.
I'm a little confused.
Omar.
So the way I'm distinguishing the question is, you're talking about a mind that's attached to the personality, that's indecisive and kind of like the monkey mind, kind of part of that world. And then is there like, I don't know, is it a universal mind that's...
No, don't go to universal. It is all thing about the subjective mind. Subjective intellect, subjective ego. You have an ego, I have an ego.
So it's attached to the ego, the personality?
It is all connected together. It functions differently. When that functions as a decisiveness, that is called the intellect. If it brings the memory aspect of it, mind is a repository of infinite impressions. All memories are there. No. Whatever you saw yesterday, whatever you thought, all waves came and settled in the mind. So it is a repository of infinite knowledge or impressions. And suppose I saw yesterday somebody, and I also see today. I say, oh, I saw you yesterday. How we recognize that? That impression which comes, goes to the eyeball, goes to the brain, whatever way. This is physical. But this feeling or whatever this sensation goes there, it is carried to the mind. Mind is standing behind. Man gets that impression, but mind cannot decide. Mind immediately connects with the buddhi. And buddhi has a stock of infinite number of collection. And he can immediately link with matches. As like your, what you call, Google search. You find something and so many words, similar things come up at a time. So many things come up and then match. Then after matching, the buddhi says, oh, he is John. So that decision is made there. That's called the mind deciding something, is called the buddhi. And now buddhi decides with the help of memory. And now he who says, I now understand, this is another faculty. It's the same mind functioning in four areas. They have their four names. So then I saw this person, I know this person, I have talked with him yesterday. So, and I recognize it. And now what to do? Now decision comes. Suppose someone is faced with some challenge. Immediately, the mind does not know what to do. And then it goes to the intellect. Intellect then decides, oh, this is right, this is okay, take a left turn, take a right turn. Or this time, this something is coming on this side, let me escape this way. All these are happening in the intellect level. Intellect gives that direction, then mind again takes help of the senses and directs the car. It is like the car is driven in the hand of the driver, and driver directs which direction to go, and then the car moves in that. And all the senses are slaves to mind and to intellect. They are, then in office you can see these senses are like, what we call in the office bearers. Not office bearers, what will be the term? In India we call those who carry the files and this and that, what do you call? Office boys, okay. Uh, Office boys or somebody who carries the instructions, physical things, and mind is the manager. You can say mind is manager. And mind is directed by his supervisor. Supervisor is the boss. And ultimately one boss is here, but there is a general boss. He is one of the boss of this department, of this unit. There may be millions of units, God's unit, no? So that's the big I. So this unit is run by this ego, but this boss, and it has his assistant, next assistant through which it works is called the buddhi. Buddhi works through the mind, and mind works through his all these office boy things, hand, feet, eyes, ears, and its reaction comes this way.
So, Swami, would you say the mind is the liaison between the senses and the intellect, and then the intellect is the one
Senses,
that puts those two together?
senses connect with the mind, mind connects with the buddhi, buddhi is behind is the ego. And they, when the order comes so quick, succession, and it response goes so quick, that's why we cannot discriminate. But that is the way it functions. So quickly information comes, gathers, and I've said, oh, it is so puzzled. I was so puzzled for a moment, I couldn't get it. That means mind could not hold that quick action. But these are all connected together. And one ripple creates the vibration to the other, to the other. Suppose I am seeing you, immediately it is creating a ripple in my mind. Swamiji said, no. How it creates? Because the light is coming and the senses is bearing to the brain and then goes to the mind. Mind is like a lake, a wave is coming. And that which wave? Different types of waves. We name the different types of waves. In the river, ocean, we don't rename different types of waves differently. We say tsunami, we called it is wave, it is ripple, it is billow, it is foam, it is all these names. So all these different impressions are there, and they match, and then buddhi then recognizes, then ego understands, and then the action comes, what to do, and then again it acts to the senses.
Is it important for us to be able to distinguish each of these little parts going on all the time?
It is necessary to distinguish that I am neither of these.
Neither of them.
If we know this, and we get affected, no? That's why people repent. Oh, I did this, I am sorry. Why are you sorry? Because you think that you have done that. Because of your association with the body-mind identity. The Brahmajnani, when they do, they know it is, I didn't do anything. If they are established in their knowledge, because they eat, they sleep, they do all these normal actions, no? Brahmajnanis don't go into heaven as soon as they get Brahmajnana. They live in the world, they interact. Vivekananda, how much he scolded people or loved people. So those are the human reaction, action will be continuing. But they are not attached. We are attached. That's why we are suffering, and our end Suffering does not end. It continues. Yes?
So when you're saying mind, the intellect would be kind of like where the discernment, the wisdom, and then when you're saying layers, it's kind of like the wisdom. And was that what you're referring to, Buddhi?
Ultimately, there is behind is that consciousness. No, these are all called matter. Mind is matter. Mind can be manipulated. Intellect is matter. Your ego is matter. Because ego, I can hurt your ego by saying something. I can hurt your understanding. I can confuse you by saying something. That means your intellect can be operated upon. Your ego can be handled, treated like nicely or badly. Your mind can be made upset, or your mind can be ballooned. You are so great, ha, and you can be in the high heaven. And someone can say, hey, you are so bad and you did this, and you go down like that. So anyone can manipulate our mind. But I, who is behind, you cannot touch that. Because of that, they are functioning. All these are, that's why you call matter. And that is the consciousness. And that consciousness is reflected to the ego. That's why ego is the toughest thing in the world. You can accept other laws, but anyone hurts you in your ego, then it's all. See the world, how it is going on. It's ego fight, is it not? Is it not ego fight? Because it is, why it is ego is so powerful? Ego is very close, very close to the Atman, that consciousness. And next is what? Intellect. That's why intellectual people, one intellectual man can make 100% be fooled by their kubuddhi, bad buddhi. Or by good buddhi, by they can inspire people. Buddhi has such a power, it can manipulate 20 people may be physically strong. One intelligent man with one gun can kill 20 people. That's why always the intelligent people control the whole society. Sometimes he's a fool. That because he is a fool, intelligent man can control the person. So intellect, why is intellect so powerful? It is Atman, next is ego, next is intellect. And then is mind. And then comes the body part and the senses here. No. So as is close to the boss, he is more powerful, is it not? Even the attendant of the big boss, they are more powerful than many of the executive officers, is it not? You can go to India, you can find. If it's the prime minister's attendant who brings the file or gives a glass of water, they are more powerful than any other executives because they are very close. Main thing is they are close to the power. Okay? Main thing not to identify, let's separate out. Identifying this, we are going to the cycle of birth and death, suffering and misery. Every day we are bound to go through this pain and agonies because we are associated with this, and they think, I am offended. I am sorry. I am really angry. So this is creating the cycle of birth and death. If you say, I have nothing to do, it is body-mind. These are all material part of it. But it has got nothing to me, this self. That self is everywhere. Who can hurt me? If that self, that consciousness, there is only one, who can hurt whom? But you hurt me, my ego, your ego. You are powerful, you hurt me. I am powerful, I hurt you. My intellect is very crooked, I can make your life hell. Or your life means your intellect is less, that's why you are a victim there. So similarly, it is the fight happening in the level of this matter. But this matter has become so powerful because they are connected behind with the same heat. Like in the oven, you have 4 cooking pots you are working. Yeah? One may be a very nice soup, another may be very spicy thing, another may be very pious. So all different types of food are being prepared, but the heat is the same. The holy, unholy, holiest of the holy, unholy of the holy, unholy, crooked of the crooked, great of the greatest, greatest of the great. All are being supported by the same oven, same heat. That's why we are trying to reach that ground of that existence, which is called the ourself, Atman. And that Atman being known, then these effects will not touch us. So this is the main direction in which this book is taking us. Yes?
Sometimes in a decision-making situation, there can be a situation where, for example, I am sorting the information that is I have to make that decision, but there's also a kind of an instinct that I know which direction I want to go, but that's not very rational sometimes. There's not enough information to support that instinct. So
These are all in the relative life, in our day-to-day existence, that we have to make the best use what my intellect can guide, what my own understanding is there, try to think days and days to take a decision. If I cannot, I'll go to a person who can help me. His wise counseling, we go for counseling. These are our day-to-day living. But we are talking about outliving. We are talking about to go to a state when we are really not to be bothered in anything in this universe.
But would that light penetrate through sometimes if you open to it to give you a sense of direction in this world?
Yeah, of course, they get a better direction. That's why we say pray. We say pray to God. Means what? We are praying to that cosmic consciousness or bliss. If we can try to connect with that, if you get a connection, not focusing to the sensate experiences or what mind is saying, what buddhi is saying, rather you are